Trapped in the concept, falsely accused, was used, and misled, bitch. I'm hoping you fucking rest in peace.
Yo, 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 what's good, people out there? Special episode tonight. We have the special crypto founder, speaker, data scientist, Tavania Evans, even an astrologer and cardologer in the house joining us tonight. She invented the coin called Guapcoin, so we're definitely excited to have her learn more about Guapcoin, talk a little crypto, some of her thoughts. So it's awesome to be joined by someone who has actually worked in the space and knows what they're talking about. So, Jams, I'll pass it over to you, and then we can let Miss Tavania Evans do her thing. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Mr. Vanya Evans, thank you so much for coming, locking in with the Crypto Rascals tonight. As I stated in the green room, it's an honor and a privilege really to have an expert in the space, someone who is highly esteemed, very knowledgeable, experienced. Not only are you a creator, you're also an innovator, and the knowledge that you are here to share with the Crypto Rascals. I'm going to be taking notes and learning from you as this is a privilege, and we appreciate you giving back with your time today.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very grateful to be here.
Yeah, for sure. So usually what we do is we hit that market recap real quick, but before we do that, just could you give the audience just a little bit on your background? I know I mentioned you were a data scientist. You used to work, I think, for Cisco before you kind of moved on to doing different things. So just can you give us a little recap about your professional career and how you kind of got into cryptocurrency and then Guapcoin?
Well, yeah, I've been in technology for about 25 years. I had my own development company very early on, and I worked for government, I worked for enterprise, I've worked in entertainment,
Okay.
development, building websites, building apps, etc. So I've been in this space for quite some time. I made a pivot over to blockchain and right around 2016. And when I saw the power of what people were creating in just the community aspect of it, I was like, well, this is what we need for our community. So that's when I decided to go forward and create Guapcoin and launch Guapcoin.
Nice.
Guapcoin, I guess I'll tell you a little bit about Guapcoin here. Created Guapcoin.
Nope. I think we may have lost her there for a second.
Yeah.
But anyway, while people come in, yeah, Guapcoin, go check that out, y'all. I'll pull that up later in a little bit, but guapcoin.org, that's a cryptocurrency started by Tavania Evans. So while she unfreezes and gets back to us, we're definitely excited to hear more about what they have on their roadmap, kind of what the genesis of it, and where it's going in the future. So I can, I have heard about Guapcoin just not, maybe a year ago or so. I told Jams about it. Got a shared node a while ago. So I've just been having my my wallet there just stacking. So that's the cool thing is it's one of those, they were an Ethereum project, but forked off. She can go probably into that a little bit more, but it's one of those places where you can stake it. You can have a master node and, kind of interact with a network where you're the one who actually does the voting. So basically a Guapcoin is something that's for the people. So I'm not going to do this intro and explanation justice compared to what she does, but I would encourage everyone to go check it out at guapcoin.org. As well, read their white paper and kind of what they're trying to do and the different steps they're going to take in their roadmap. So I do like coins that have, a network of people, validators, where you can earn real life use cases as far as working with small businesses, who are traditionally left out. So as it grows, it'd be cool to see how the use case plays out if Black businesses or any small businesses who feels they've been left out of the system is able to, work together to track the data of spending as well as votes on funding projects for people in their community. So that's, I think, one of the cool things about cryptocurrency is giving power to the people in that regard. And this is something that she definitely came up with. I think that's a very noble project. So it's she'll give an idea of when it first launched, but it's one of those things where I'm like, yo, this is a long-term project versus something I just want to play around in. And then I do like the aspect. One thing I did want to ask her was some of the programming languages that she learns that are utilized on these different blockchains, specifically this one. So as there are jobs out there, people may be wanting to take career changes and work in the crypto space and wondering like, how much do you have to know coding wise? One, I'm sure you can get different types of jobs, but what type of languages are utilized with these different blockchains? The more I understand that, the cooler and more like tangible and real you kind of see how things are actually played out. Because at the end of the day, it's all code. So
Absolutely.
Software is eating the world, as they say.
Absolutely. And I'm excited for Tavonia to come back, as we were just getting into the origins of Guap Coin, and that is our main topic of discussion tonight.
Do you want to hit the... Sorry, go ahead.
I think it's huge that she mentioned community.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, let's go ahead and jump into that market recap and knock that out.
Yeah, just so when she comes back.
Absolutely. So looking at the market as a whole today, the global market cap is down 6%. We have seen a correction back to $2.6 trillion. We're no longer near that $3 trillion mark. And the global volume is up a bit today, 22.8% at $294 billion. The top percentage market gainers are, of course, connected to the metaverse, with Decentraland being up 26% and the Sandbox being up 11.8%. So metaverse related tokens are moving, NFT related tokens are moving. People are finding utility, and they're realizing that the land itself in Sandbox and Decentraland is valuable, and that itself is something that you should be positioning yourself for in the future. Taking some of those profits, as Bitcoin and Ethereum did make all-time highs last week, and putting them into coins with actual utility is a great idea. Bitcoin coming in today at $56,693, down a hard 6.6%. A major correction after all-time highs, but you should know that is anticipated, as profit will be taken. We're still above that $1 trillion mark, which is good to see. And our volume still sits above 50 billion at $60.67 billion. So Tavonia, I'm glad to have you back here. So thinking about the Bitcoin price itself, what are your sentiments on the market at the current moment?
Well, it's largely reflective on, this, like you were just talking about the metaverse, this explosion of metaverse activity since Facebook came out rebranding and jumping forward on their metaverse. I'm actually one of the Horizon developers, beta developers, building worlds on Facebook's Horizon. And I've been involved in that for, I guess, pretty much over a year now. And I would say before the half of the year, there was more of a pushback in terms of when things were going to launch. But as we coming on Zuckerberg for various things, all of a sudden we got a big push on, it's now. Metaverse is being moved up from 2025 to 2022. So, so that I guess, brought a lot of attention onto projects who were already operating, like you mentioned, Decentraland. Decentraland's been around for a while already. Then you have another one called what is it, Sonoma Space or whatever it's called, Sononium Space, which recently got an investment from Gemini, which is the alt nemesis of Zuckerberg, the Winklevoss twins.
Yep.
So I guess the Winklevoss twins said, "Well, Zuck's gonna do it. We're gonna do it too. We're gonna
Yep.
jump in the metaverse." It's this whole industry is just such a, you know what I mean?
You can see the
You
beef
know?
playing on Twitter, and then I can assume what these founders are beefing with each other on. So
Yeah, basically, right? So because of that, so now you got, the eyes on the metaverse. That's the new catchphrase. Remember, it was NFTs first, and
Yep.
then it was and metaverse, which nobody barely knew how they wrap their head around NFTs. Now they don't know how to wrap their head around metaverse, which, by the way, I'm building the metaverse too. I'm in the metaverse game as well. So,
okay.
but I've been in the metaverse game. I've literally been preaching the metaverse for years. People are not trying to hear me. But now it's like, oh wow, look, everybody's
The
talking
cool
about,
thing,
look
yeah.
at that. Everybody's talking about the metaverse. And
I've already
so,
told y'all years ago.
huh?
And you're saying you've already told them years ago,
Oh,
and now
years ago. I have in my house right now, I got about 4 or 5 Oculus
Okay.
Quests, and I, putting people on. I was telling people years ago, it's like, you need to go ahead and hurry up and prepare to move on to VR, because that's where the concerts and the games and stuff are going to be. And this was damn near before the pandemic. You know what I mean? Way before that. I'm telling them that's where everything is going to be in a minute, and trying to convince people, and especially our people, and trying to convince them wasn't, a good thing. So, but, I'm prepared. So I said, okay, well, it made my job a little bit easier. So, I'm getting out here full fledged and building a metaverse for that's going to be powered by Guap, and integrates my social network New, which I built back in 2019. So,
Okay.
yeah, so I'm on it, but this is a life I live for real life. Like, this is real
Right.
life for me. This isn't, this is no fad for me. I've been living this life for a while. I do get kind of upset with a little bit of the faddishness, the fads. But at the end of the day, I'm just glad that people starting to see and show up,
Mhm.
and and stuff like that. So
Is that new.network? Is that the
yes, New Dot Network. Yeah.
okay? Very cool. Yeah, check it out. I'll drop it in the chat for y'all who are watching. New.network.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So not only are you a developer, you're a community builder, and you're integrating a social network into the metaverse. I
Yeah,
think that's
absolutely. I built my first community in 2004.
wow.
Yeah. I had about 30,000 members. At one point, 30,000 and growing. I worked with other communities on the network as on the internet as
Oh, I think we may have lost her again. But yo, I dropped that in the chat. We may have lost her, but I dropped out that new network in the chat. Yo, that's pretty dope. And I'll double check with her, but I think she said this is going to be powered. The metaverse she's creating integrated with this is going to be powered by Guap, I think as well. So that's pretty cool to see that maybe coming on their roadmap, being built out pretty soon. So yeah, that's pretty awesome that she came out with all of this.
I think that's
It's
huge.
like leading at the forefront.
And one thing that
yeah,
came,
I think I have like 100 windows open. I think that might be a bad in it too. So I just shut down some of those windows.
Okay, no worries, no
I'm,
problem.
I'm always working on 100 different things.
I was
None.
gonna say you're not into tech if you don't have 30 windows open.
Yeah, it's like a problem. It's like, oh my God, like look up and the next thing you know, you got 100 windows open. It's a problem.
Yeah, I had a friend in college. I would get onto him about that all the time. I'm like, man, you got to clean this up. You're never going to be able to find what you're looking for. But
Yeah,
I
that's
know.
my mom. So she's bad.
You know, it might be a women thing.
It
Multitask.
kind of like she'll be like, "Hey, can you help me on the computer?" And I'll be like, she'll have like, Mozilla Firefox, Chrome
Yeah,
open, and then I'm just like, "Yo,
yeah, yeah.
it happens. It happens. And while you were explaining earlier, a few things came to my mind. The Winklevoss twins, Gemini, just had their first public raise today, or
Right.
they announced it, and I believe they raised about 400 million for a evaluation right at under 10 billion,
Yeah,
um, which obviously is much less than some of the other centralized exchanges, but that makes them serious competitors, and
right.
uh, they're going to be spending some of that money towards the metaverse, I believe,
Hmm.
and making them a direct competitor for Zuckerberg. So great point there. I start connecting dots as you were saying that, and I'm like, now it makes sense why they finally decided to take some of that outside money. I even saw that
Right,
Jay-Z on that funding round. So
right, 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 right. So everybody's fast and furious, but I'll tell you this. Building a metaverse on the level that Facebook is attempting to build and really largely centralize is not a quick thing.
mhm.
There's still a lot that needs to be done, or it will create a very undesirable experience for the user. So, it's not like they're like ready to accommodate that. So I honestly, I'm waiting to see, but I know that they're feeding little bits of it out. Like the new workspace space app that they have for workspaces and stuff like that, but I doubt that they're ready to accommodate a large influx of people at this moment.
I think you also mentioned something else that was great was we are going to be having those virtual concerts and virtual conferences. That is where we're going. You saw it before the pandemic, and now after some of the recent tragedies, especially in Texas, at Astroworld, having a avatar ready to launch onto the metaverse is going to be huge, and I think our community definitely should be prepared for that. So I'm glad you're out there beating the drum, trying to get others to jump on board with that.
Absolutely. Thank you. That work. And there's not a lot of resources available to do all of this work. So it isn't but so much you can get done, but the advantage is when you know how to pull it together. That's the advantage. And I think that's the advantage that we have, especially on my team, is that, I know how to pull that together. It's something that is my world. My son has a game development company. He's 17. He's been developing worlds on Roblox since he was 12 years old. So yeah.
Awesome. And Roblox just went public within the
They
last
did.
year.
They did. And he was like, "Give me some stock, mom. Give me
Yep.
some stock." Yeah. And he was just telling me the other day that they successfully bridged Unity with Roblox. So Roblox will have a more realistic metaverse experience now. So they can run game engine. They can run, the some of the games that run on the Unity engine. Those parts will be able to run on Roblox. So he was really excited about that. He was like, Ma, guess what? They're running Unity on Roblox. And but yeah, so his specialty is building worlds, and then he's also a musician, so he makes music
Awesome.
for worlds.
oh
That's
wow, that's awesome."
Yeah.
and all of that is coming together. I recently found a project called Ethereum Homies, and that is they're signing musical artists for the metaverse. Um,
Yep.
Shout out to your son. Tell him definitely stick with it because we won't need record labels if you're building worlds for consumers to enjoy and immerse themselves. So
Absolutely. He's actually part your card, Asher.
Oh,
he's
really?
yeah, you're his planetary ruler. So he's a two of diamonds, but he's also a eight of spades as well. He's a
Okay, nice.
planetary
Yeah.
ruler. So yeah.
Well, the first time right before you cut off, and I hope I did it justice. I don't know if you caught it. I was just explaining what Guapcoin was. But I guess you could just give us a quick synopsis of what are some good use cases for Guapcoin that you've seen out there as far as the community. I was mentioning it being a great for small businesses, not just specifically Black, but just people who've been disadvantaged by the system, not
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
banked, not having the capital to pull together funds to put into their communities. Like reading your white paper, you brought up the term like gentrification and having the power be in the people to decide. I was talking about people being able to stake and be master nodes on the network to be validators. So just I guess give us a quick synopsis of how it's progressed and what do you see some of the use cases being for Guapcoin.
Well, I think that, we chose to tackle a very difficult market, and that's home. Home is always the most difficult. You did,
Yeah.
if you notice that, right? You can go
Yeah.
out and you can tackle everywhere else, but when you got to tackle home, people don't want to tackle home because they already know what the issues are, and that's what we chose to tackle. We chose to tackle our home and our backyard first, and then move outward and touch the people out globally. But our initial, part of our use case, of course, is just having our own currency. That's one part, right? We feel that it's important that we're able to have some level of control over the money and the finances that we have circulating in our community, so that can help repair some of the values and our feeling like we don't have, that feeling of lack when it comes to of things. And then the next level, the financial data that's going to provide us, because what can be done with data. What can be done with data is, of course, what they do with data now, and that's control trends. That's like, if you can control things with data, you can fix things with data, right? So right now, currently it's pretty much the given that our money flows out of the community and very little bit flows back, right? But what does that look like? What it looks like is data. How do you track that? You track that with data, So you can tell us that, okay, well, what can we do to fix it? Well, we can't fix it until we can get a handle on what the numbers look like and where they're going. And that's what we can use. That's what data can be used for. And all blockchain is data. That's like, and it's better data. It's better financial data than fiat money, because there's a lot of fiat money that gets out there in circulation that falls under the radar. But
absolutely.
and a lot of people think, well, crypto is anonymous, which is not, or pseudo anonymous. It doesn't matter, because when it comes to data doesn't have to have a name. It doesn't have to have a name. It doesn't have to have an identifier. We categorize data. We take data and we pull it into categories, and we create algorithms that look at trends, that look at various different things. So this is going to be a powerful system for us to be able to look into our spending and where we're spending and how we're spending. And then we can turn around and say, well, we'd like to strengthen our supply chain. We would like to, if you talk about supporting businesses in the community, you need to have some type of benchmark for doing that. That's why they have Wall Street. Wall Street, you can see the benchmark on a global scale of supporting or revenues that are coming in for companies and corporations and stuff like that. We need our own Wall Street,
Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, restart Black Wall Street.
Wall Street was Wall Street about. I think that I was losing connection again, but I didn't. Yay! I'm still here.
Okay, yeah, we can hear you still. Yeah, you're back.
I'm still here, but we need the numbers. We need the data. So this is a good way to galvanize us and pull us around a project that we are able to use on a day-to-day basis, and we're able to take and use that data on a higher level to heal some of the issues that we have in our community.
I think that was like jaw dropping. I mean, that was awesome information you just gave us there, because it made me think of a insular economy. Um, as you mentioned, the money in our community, once we receive it, it immediately leaves, and we don't circulate or create a insular economy for ourselves. So having that data is not only important, but it allows us to sustain and build long-term generational wealth, to fix that inequality that we see amongst our demographic. So building something for us made me think about, the for us by us, but that was a way for us to give our money to a community built project. But this is a way for us to have a community built ecosystem, our
Right.
own economy, and that's a whole nother step in the game. So shout out to you. Appreciate the explanation on Guapcoin, and can't wait to continue the conversation.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna ask one, skimming through the white paper, and you'd mentioned a proof of participation algorithm, um, and also that like there's proof of stake and proof of work. But could you describe that a little bit more about what does that entail? Or
Well,
is this-
the next level is implementing an algorithm that determines how well, and this is just for a reward system, determines how well we are actually, and that we'll later be able to gauge and use for like a credit score. You know what I mean? So, or use for a reputation score. So let's say there are companies that are looking to get funding to scale or something like that. These are the insights that one day we'll be able to look into the blockchain for, to determine, if this company can get funding, or what this company needs in order to thrive or grow or scale. Thank you.
Yeah, shout out to the people in the chat. Appreciate you, Rashu, checking in. Don Montoya, Chance Omnivisions, CEO The King. He says, Team Guap in the Kingdom. So yeah, shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all checking in. Like we said, we're glad to have Mr. Vanya Evans here, speaking with us as well. Well, I guess we don't want to keep you too long, but another thing I did want to talk about and ask you was, looking at the roadmap, did you say that you're working on your own metaverse as well as your social networking company? And is that going to be a part of the Guap blockchain? And I had mentioned earlier that Guap coin had started on Ethereum, but since then has forked off and made its own blockchain. So it's a standalone blockchain as well. So will the
Absolutely.
metaverse be integrating with that, working
Yeah.
with that as well?
Absolutely. We'll be implementing an EVM, a Ethereum virtual machine, which will make Guap compatible with smart contracts. Most of the blockchains are moving to some level of interoperability, and most of them are using EVMs, the Ethereum virtual machine, so that they can, they can cross over smart contracts from platform to platform. So that's what we'll be implementing and using as the underpinnings of the metaverse for new.
Okay, that is awesome. The more I learn about the metaverse, NFTs, and it seems like a lot of the NFTs we've been minting, specifically Jams, have use cases in the metaverse. So it's go back and forth, on NFTs, and is it just, something for bragging rights? But as these metaverses develop and grow, I'm like, okay, that's going to be the definitive use case that I can see, versus kind of the speculation and the cool pictures interaction that is
Yeah,
there.
well, there's a lot of innovation coming out of NFTs that a lot of people are not aware of. They're building smarts with incentives and royalties, and building whole entire communities that are benefiting off of these NFTs, so, and DAOs that are putting out these NFTs. So it's amazing to see where they're going. And it's nothing but more software, more smart contracts. So as smart contracts grow, as more developers come into the space, the complexity of NFTs is going to grow too, and create more DeFi economies.
Yeah, this is the cool thing right here. Jam sent me this article, and since you brought up like the innovation, I hadn't seen this coming down, but it looks like the NFL and Ticketmaster launch ticket stub NFTs on the Polygon network. Jams, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, so this story came across earlier today while I was working, and I thought interesting to see the NFL launching a commemorative ticket on the Polygon network. As you know, Tom Brady's autograph platform is also on the Polygon network, formerly known as Matic. And to see them launching on the Thanksgiving game, which is next week, they will be releasing this ticket here, the Detroit versus Michigan, excuse me, not Michigan, Chicago. And you will be able to actually hold that commemorative ticket in a wallet. So I like to see even if they're late, corporate partnerships getting into the space. The more, the merrier. Let's get this party started. I frequent sports games, whether that be NBA, NFL, baseball. You can always probably find me in the stand somewhere. And to actually get an NFT that I can keep on my wallet versus a ticket stub that I have to actually physically hold on the wall, it's a cool point.
Yeah, it's actually a cool point because people have been collecting ticket stubs for years,
Yep.
and they eventually could be worth something, for things. So imagine digitally how that is. It's interesting because pretty much anything you have that may be, valuable. I was thinking the other day, through Aquarius Maximus, I did my last readings that are going to be available personally, and I did it for 100 people. And I told them, I said, you know what? You need to take those recordings and mint them as NFTs because, it's only 100 of them. And
True.
you could say that you got a reading from Tavana Evans, AKA Aquarius Maximus. Imagine if people who got the chance to talk to Michael Jackson or someone else and had that sound clip and were able to mint it as an NFT, what it would be worth. So you have to start thinking about that. And that's good when you have to start thinking about your value and your worth and where you're headed, because, your everything you do is valuable up until the point where you're great, So
Right.
you want to record those things in time. The NFTs are a way to do that.
Yes, definitely for sure. Um, well, we've had you on for a little bit here, and
Thank you.
mentioning that I did want to, before we let you go, I know you have work to do. You mentioned doing readings. I saw you were saying you're getting off of Instagram at the end of this year. One thing we didn't mention, we wanted to say RIP to Young Dolph. It's always sad to see, an artist go out
Yeah.
like that. Even though we understand it's like they're just celebrities, but still, well, when I heard the news yesterday, I did feel a little bit of sadness, having listened to his music, and things like that. So I know Jams put me on the Young Dolph, so I didn't reach out to you, Jams, about that, but I assumed we were right there in spirit, feeling the same thing. Getting into different readings that you do, and I like how you pull up different celebrities with your cardology just to show kind of the cards that they represent, and things that are obstacles, or successes that they might have due to their card readings and how they play out with current events through the news media. So that's been very insightful as well, and that's something, as I've been following you, learning more about Guapcoin and yourself, one of the things that I'm like, that's been really cool to learn about and understand. I guess one question I had is, I'll catch you on Black Magic 363 with Brother Rich, and I like the different predictions and stuff, and how you talk about what's coming down as far as things going on with America and cryptocurrencies, and the way these different like projects have, I guess, different readings. But before we let you go, and Jans may have some questions, could you, I guess, give I don't want to say like a general predictions of what do you see going down in 2022 as far as the cryptocurrency blockchain technology scene moving, kind of paired with the US and things going on here with the uncertainty around government and, supply.
Well, one of the things I see is Bitcoin is definitely going to be getting it from all sides. And what I mean by that is competitive forces, from the government in terms of regulations. So anticipate Bitcoin getting it from all sides. You know what I mean? So, a lot of people are predicting the price to go blah blah blah, there's so much new innovation coming in the space right now that it actually takes away from Bitcoin, because what you'll have now is you have people who are holding Bitcoin but taking their Bitcoin into other industries under other innovations, like i.e. NFTs or other tokens and coins. So you're gonna definitely see the heat on when it comes to the crypto industry in regards to Bitcoin. However, one of the things that still kind of goes up versus is all of the events that are going to likely take place. And when that does, then you have the emotional sentiment being manipulated, the emotional sentiment getting in. So you have people who are sitting on wealth that finally make their entry into Bitcoin because their wealth is in jeopardy. But one of the things that I'm also predicting is that a huge chunk of wealth is going to be wiped off the board in the next 2 years. So with a variety of things that are going to take place with the United States. So there's a lot going on. It's going to be a hot year for sure. It's going to be a testy one. Mars is leading the way and Pluto is leading the way. So anytime you have Mars and Pluto, you have warfare, but what type of warfare do we have going on? We have financial warfare going on. And really, it's always financial warfare, but no one knows that. They think that it's usually some other reason, and they don't realize that, it's money, but you already have the long-standing battle between old money and new money, and new money, i.e. Silicon Valley, the war between Silicon Valley and the bankers, which a lot of people don't know, is taking place. So you have the bankers versus the payment processors, like Cash App, Stripe, all of those things like that. And then you have the traditional banking system, right? But after a while, people realize and say, hey, why fight? Let's band together, so we don't know what type of behemoth we're looking at when they finally say, come on, let's get together and do this, So in the meantime, the little people like us, the plantation gates are open. So so what do you do when no one's guarding the plantation gates? You run out, right? So yeah. So we're trying to, the little people, we're trying to get people to realize that the gates are open. So you better take this opportunity to run out and declare your autonomy and build up your nations while all of this other chaos is going on. So, so that's what we got going on. And then now you have the metaverse, but you also have the other metaverses. You have the decentralized metaverses. You have the ones that are teaching and preaching more of autonomy. Facebook is definitely not going to be autonomy. Facebook is going to be heavily controlled. And it's not that I think that Zuckerberg initially may have started out like that, but now he's in bed with every corporation that you can think of, especially since the Libra debacle, where all of these corporations signed on to his dream, and he's got to make good on his dream to his stakeholders. Therefore, that keeps the control or the corporate control going, the corporate control machine, the political control machine. So you have that. And then you have other metaverses who will practice more of, the DAO system, the decentralized autonomous organization. I saw I was starting to lose connection again. But so you're going to have this virtual world battle going on for what? The people. which one are you gonna go for? Are you gonna go for this or are you gonna go for that? So, we're gonna be seeing a lot of that in the next 2 years.
Wow, that's a lot to think about and take in. I guess which is kind of what we talk about sometimes is it's important to build your own community, and that's the cool thing about cryptocurrency because it can go either way where we can fall under like get chained to a system or like create your own
You,
community of people to be able
one
to
one thing before I go, one thing I saw was so cool is so they're selling another copy of the Declaration of Independence, Sotheby's. So a DAO got together, which essentially was a community that got together on Discord, and they raised $40 million so that they could buy that. Right. So these are just a bunch of regular folks. Like it's the
Yep.
regular folks got together. And this is not in Sotheby's radar. They're thinking that some rich, wealthy collector is going to buy this. But these people got together, formed a DAO where their money is decentralized, public. They get to vote on where that money goes, and no one can pull a rug over anything and say that we're gonna use this money to put a bid on the Declaration of Independence. I think that's powerful. And that's a powerful declaration of what could happen if the people come together in a decentralized environment, what they can do, now. So that gate is open. Just let you know the gate is open.
That was a huge point, and I hope all of the crypto rascals out there who are listening caught that. The power has been given back to the people through DAOs. I mean, having autonomous organizations with community wallets that can pool $40 million together is awesome. Tavania, I want to thank you for your time tonight. It's much appreciated. I know I've been blessed. I can't wait to go back and watch the replay. Not only the knowledge you brought to us about blockchain, but really the predictions for the future, as I have very similar sentiments. I won't say fears or concerns because I have faith and trust that I'm here taking care of myself, my family, and my people. So, hey, we are here with you
Thank you.
on the journey. There's nothing but love
Thank
from
you.
our hearts to yours. So, whenever you want to come share, lock in with the Crypto Rascals, you always got a home here.
Thank
And
you.
can't wait to watch you continue to flourish in the space and grow. We're rooting for you, and we wish you nothing but the best.
Yeah, go buy some
Yeah.
Guapcoin, y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Bye.
All right, yo, that was awesome, man.
That was incredible. I am truly blessed tonight. I mean, to know that there are incredible women in this space who are not only leading teams, but they are truly innovating. I mean, she's special. There are those special people in the world that truly have an impact, that build, create, grow. They are bringing people together, and I think tonight is going to be one of those nights when we look back in the future and say, "Man, I'm
Yeah.
glad."
Can you believe she came on our show?
No,
What?
exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna be like
Exactly.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's I don't want to compare her to like Oprah or nothing, but it's like, hey man, we had Oprah on our show, bro. We had Beyonce on our show, bro. So it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
hey, that was awesome.
yeah.
I'm
It's like
fanboying. I'm fanboying. That was a nerd moment for me. That was definitely a surreal experience because she did not have to take time out of her busy schedule of building a actual blockchain that and she did. So much
yeah,
love to the Guapcoin community for locking in with us. We do appreciate you, and of course, Tavania, we appreciate you as well.
yeah,
Brother
for sure.
Sherelle,
Yeah,
how you
y'all.
feeling, man?
I'm feeling good. Definitely love hearing her predictions of how like things are going down, taking into cardology, astrology, and stuff like that. So it's definitely a good guide of things to take heed of. And like she said, like tumultuous times headed for the U.S. and that war that's going on, between the bankers and the payment processors. Banks, what are banks now other than, banks don't realize they're kind of like tech companies as well, but they're just outdated tech companies. So we'll have to watch out for, those CBDCs coming in, and that team up there. I forget exactly, but I seen Amazon denying Visa, saying, like the fees are going to be too much and stuff like that. So we'll want to make sure that we're picking the right cryptocurrencies, creating our own communities, through these DAOs. That's something I definitely want to research more. DAOs, how to, make those and build those ourselves. Listening to Chicago Crypto Hustler, Chicago Blockchain Bully Talk, I hear people say, these are going to be the new LLCs in the next, decades or so. These decentralized autonomous organizations. So being able to, that's something we'll have to look into, do our research on, and that's cool that it kind of gives people a way, all of us a way to link up, with each other. Everyone have, I guess, a way to contribute to a system while everything else is crumbling around us, because the empire is going down, and it's just a matter of what kind of builds up in its place, and what we have our control, our little sphere, our little small circles growing to bigger circles to be able to impact that as well. So definitely appreciate her being on here. Shout out to everybody watching. Hope y'all enjoyed that as well as much as we did. We did touch on that a little bit. RIP the young Dolph. That was definitely sad to hear. Also go check her out. Aquarius Maximus is her other Twitter handle, and over there she'll drop some good gems as far as cardology and future predictions. So check Tavania Evans out there as well. But yeah, man, RIP the Dolph. That was sad to see. Survives a lot of attempts before in the past. It's hate to see someone go down in their own, in their own city. But rest in power, as I say, young Dolph, and you'll be missed for sure.
Absolutely. Rest in peace to Dolph. I've been a huge Dolph fan since early 2015, and he came on my radar back in 2014. But in 15, I really, really became a Dolph fan. 16, he dropped that King of Memphis album, and it was over for me. So I love the Memphis scene. I love the South, and Dolph was a family man. He had 2 children. Um, you know, shout out to his beautiful wife. We have to stop killing one another in our communities. Everybody wants to be a gangster. Everybody wants to be hard. But I actually told my wife last night, I'm a nerd from this point out. I'm going to be a nerd. I'm going to be proud to be a nerd. Cryptocurrency isn't gangster. I love hip hop music. I love my people. But I'm not out here trying to kill another that looks like me. I'm here to build another up. I'm here to grow a community of people. And if being a nerd is the only way to survive in this society as America, when you're our age, looking like us, trying to build families and be healthy, then so be it. I'm not a thug. I'm not a gangster. I'm a nerd. And I really, really wish that we would stop killing one another. So rest in peace to Dolph. This is coming from my heart. This is why it's crypto and down, because sometimes we do have to talk about things other than cryptocurrency. So, hey, man, put the guns down. Stop killing one another. If you ain't building each other up, then really you're just tearing one another down. Our mothers have cried enough. We've seen enough bloodshed in our streets. So if we don't have anything else to do, then hey man, I'm sorry. I fear where we're going. So hey, shout out to all the crypto rascals. We do see you there, Rashu, Don Montoya. Too much for you, okay? New age nerds are the gangsters, but facts, we need each other. And it's true. I think Tavania made a great point when she compared the traditional banking system to the Squares and the Venmos. Those are 2 warring odds, and new money versus old money is something that we need to be prepared for. But just to jump back to my last statement, hey, RIP to Dolph, put the guns down and let's do better. It's one love. It's enough violence and tragedy to go around. We don't need to be the one contributing to it daily. So anything else you got for me, Asherelle?
Oh man, yeah, that was good.
Preaching.
Yeah, preaching right there. Yeah, man. I ain't got much else for you, but to say, yeah, we're out here. We come in peace. You know, we want everyone to succeed. Want to get that. Want to get that freedom, that independence. But like Rashu said, we definitely need each other. Shout out to Sunflower and ATX. Community is the key in building up your community. Yeah, couldn't have said that better myself. Like I said, defend. We're out here to grow, build a community, and defend our community as well from um, all bad actors, whether it's governments, individuals, and like you said, we don't preach violence. We preach coming together, working together. That's the cool thing about crypto is you don't have to necessarily like each other to interact, to trade, do business with each other. Just as long as you have a mutual understanding of the same mindset of like where you want to go. So that's cool. That's what the people I look to follow, new people I come across on the social media. Some of them come up, some of them burn out, but I'm always looking for new people like that. So it's cool to have her on here, dropping that knowledge for us here. Don Montoya says, if we can get these young kids into the metaverse instead of the drug verse, that can be the way to change the world. Yeah, I do agree with you. It's a give and take as well. I think one thing with the metaverse is the metaverse real and regular analog life, if you want to call it, have to coexist with each other. One can't just take everything over. When I think of the metaverse, I definitely think of that movie Ready Player One, even that book, even I think it came from the book I read years ago. But yeah, it's going to be a balance, I think. But first off, you just don't want to make sure bringing that negative energy to the metaverse, where it will not necessarily be death, but still cycle in that way, so to speak. I just think of the different video, if you think of the animes that you watch where they go into the metaverse, where they play different games, and then sometimes, I mean, this is maybe way futuristic, but it ends up where you die in the game, you die in real life. So that just got me thinking of like, yeah, going into the metaverse will solve some problems, but you could definitely, years from now have a cycle where it comes back full circle in a way. But that's just something to think about. Who know? Right now, the metaverse is so far from actually being developed in a way where people can actually use it like those different, entertainment things we see. But I would say it would be interesting how the metaverse is going to interface with real life or be an escape from life, whether you're talking about like virtual reality or augmented reality, where you're seeing things pop up that aren't there that you can interact with as you're out and about in the physical world, versus are you just going to sit in your room, put on the Oculus or something and go in. So it'll be interesting to how those two worlds interact with each other as well. Because, my fear is not fear, but it just, you don't want people to be stuck inside. All they do is the metaverse. Like you work from home, you don't have to go outside. Amazon drone's gonna bring you your gruel for the day, whether it's that the bugs they'll be feeding us in the future or stuff like that, and you're stuck in your tiny apartment, and your only escape is to put on that headset that straps to your entire face, has the body interactive suit, and then you just kind of just live that way. So that's what I don't want the metaverse to be. I want it to actually be where it enhances people's lives, where they can meet up face to face and do things with each other as well, instead of just talking to people behind screens with avatars all the time.
Absolutely. I think it'll be a complex space where we will have a bit of both. Of course, I don't think it's a unrealistic fear or concern that we don't become sedentary drones, that we aren't just locked into a particular reality that's being projected to us. Of course, we still need to get out into nature. We still need to receive daily sun intakes. Those things are still key and important. You got to eat. You can't eat data. So at the end of the day, I think it's important that we do remember we are human beings. We're natural beings. And these are things that enhance our human experience, but they don't define it. So, shout out to PFC Wells. That already happens now in the real world. South Korea and Japan have a whole subculture that's been living like that for more than a decade. Absolutely. I think Asherelle remembers about 15 years ago when we were in some boarding school dormitories, and we might have seen a few guys who never left their room and played video games for days on end.
It's like, yo, we hey, shout out to all my Koreans and Japanese out there. Yo, cool ass people. But yeah, man, I remember that. That
Yeah,
was we'd be
we're
like,
not
yo,
gonna call them out by name.
hey, yeah, we ain't gonna call no one out by name, but be like, yo, where you been? I haven't seen you in like 2 days, bro. Where you been?
And honestly, if you opened his room door, he was locked in on that screen,
Locked in.
playing World of Warcraft. And it was like, bro, you got to shower. We got class. Like, what is you doing? Like,
Yo, the dorm parents sent me to look for you, bro. Hey,
man, I
hey,
definitely,
man.
that is definitely no
Breaking
doubt.
down the door. Hey,
That
good
is
times,
true.
man.
Definitely good time.
Brick wall stomping on the door. Yo,
Yo,
get your
I
ass
was
to
still in
chapel.
that room. Yo, man, it was brutal. Like I don't think he even made it through the semester. I think he actually didn't he go home, man? Like, sorry, man. Yeah, video game addiction got him.
Snoopy.
It's all
Yeah,
right.
Snoopy was like, nah, I'm out.
So, but hey, he's probably a professional e-gamer at this point. Who knows?
Oh yeah,
That
for
was
sure.
15 years ago where things were a little bit different. Now he can actually make a living by doing that. So, hey, I think tonight was a very, very great episode, special show. We paid our respects to Dolph, and then of course, Mr. Vanya Evans came through and blessed us with a great episode. And like as Too
Yeah,
Much For You, Kay said, that's huge for us. That's a big get, and for us to just be so early on in building this platform and building a community of crypto rascals who just are interested in blockchain technology and want the people to be receiving the knowledge as soon as it drops.
yeah,
We're
that's the cool thing. It's
yeah,
starting this channel is like just getting to talk to people like that. I think that's a cool. And now you can interface through social media,
yep,
reach out. So people who are going to be let's say the trillionaires of tomorrow, having that chance to interact and message them directly. And I'm like, well, what a time to be alive. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to be a part of this, start this channel. Just was, chopping up with you, talk to you, and also reach out to people who are working on cool things that are going to be at the forefront of this technology that we'll be using, and our children's children, on and on. So,
no matter what, I'm broke, baby.
hey. All right, man. I ain't got nothing else for you. We've been almost going an hour, so peace, bro.
All right. Hey, peace be.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all out there watching. Check in with us. We try to do it at 8:30. Oh, he says, what is Tavanya's Twitter again? It is Crypto Diva. Let me drop that in the chat to you, sir, before we.
And while you're doing that, I'll just give you a quick update on Guapcoin. Guapcoin is currently trading at 3 cents. It is up 7% today. And it is, you can acquire it on Probit under the Bitcoin pair. So Bitcoin into Guapcoin trading at 3 cents. And it is available on on Probit, and
Yes.
it's 7% today.
Yes, Probit. I'll drop that in the chat again for y'all who didn't get it the first time. I'm dropping in that new network. I'll have to go check that out, that social media network that she's creating. And it's cool. We'll see how that metaverse works out. And yeah, I just dropped her Twitter in the, hold on, let me see. Let me drop her other Twitter as well. Because yo, she does drop some cool ass gems predictions. And here is her cardology one as well. Cardology and astrology. Dropping that in there too. So yeah. I don't know if she's going to be doing those personal readings anymore, but she definitely puts out good content about predictions your birth date, what card you are, and then what to prepare for, and things to think about as the future events are coming down the pike. So, like we said, I've heard her say before, we might see some major shakeups, whether it be floods, we got volcanoes popping off it, so it's going to be a tumultuous time. So, we'll watch out for each other and, keep on rising in the crypto space.
Absolutely. Keep making it do what it do. Peace be to you. I think tomorrow is Friday, so happy Juneteenth.
Friday.
Make sure it's the holy day. Make sure you show some love and give back to somebody. So peace be, brother.
Peace, bro.